Charaho. 7-5 is our new section. We're going to factor these trinomials. X squared plus bx plus c. Now this is going to be when there is no GCF. So none of the terms have anything in common. So that means in order to get it to factored form, you have to resort to something else other than GCF, because GCF means they would have something in common. The ones that we're going to do today are not going to have anything in common. So there's another method of factoring that we're going to learn. Now, there are 4 warm-up skills that I need you to copy down and take a couple minutes to attempt. All of these number sentences are name 2 numbers whose product is a number and sum is a number. So for each answer, I need a number and another number. That's how your answer should look for these. Product means multiply. Sum means you're adding. So take a couple minutes to figure those out. Copy and figure out. So a number and another number. A number and another number. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully you took some time to figure those bad boys out. Find 2 numbers whose product is 16. You multiply to 16 and the sum is a 10. So to do this, I'm going to look at 16 and all of its factor pairs. 1 times 16. 2 times 8. 3 does not go into 16. 4 goes into 16 4 times. Since I already have 4 on the other side, that means I'm done. I've listed all my factor pairs. These are all the factor pairs of 16. Which set of numbers adds up to 10? Well, 1 and 16 adds to 17. 2 and 8 multiplies to 16 and adds to 10. That is my winner. 2 and 8. Which 2 numbers have a product of 16 and a sum of 17? So we look at 16. 1 times 16. 2 times 8. 4 times 4. Which one of those factor pairs adds up to 17? You got it. 1 and 16. Now it gets a little dicey when we're talking about negatives. So product is negative 16. Which 2 numbers, so we're looking for factor pairs of negative 16. We still are going to play with these same numbers, 1 and 16, 2 and 8, and 4 and 4. But the only thing is, when we get a negative, that means these are negative. Or if I rewrite them again, now some of you might need to do this and some of you might not, depends. So it's either this negative times a positive is a negative. So your first side could be negative or the second groups could be negative. Which one of these factor pairs, now we have 6 groups, adds up to 6? They all multiply to negative 16. Which one adds to a positive 6? Hopefully you guessed negative 2 and an 8. Name 2 numbers whose product is negative 16 and has a sum of 0. Look back up here. We listed all of the numbers that multiply to negative 16. Which pair adds to 0? Well, opposites add to 0. So, hopefully you picked negative 4 and positive 4. Now, this is such an elementary, or even middle school, I should say, middle school little skill, but it plays such a big role in our factoring today with this algebra skill. So on the back, go ahead and copy factor x squared plus bx plus c. And our goal is to factor these into two binomials. Now, how this plays with the front paper was, what you need to do is you're going to look at the constant, the C value, and you have to find the factor pair that adds to the B. So the B is this middle term. So you're taking your constant, finding its factor pairs, find which factor pair adds to that B value. And that'll be your answer. So let's try a couple. We have x squared plus 9x plus 20. The C value is 20. So I'm going to take 20, and I'm going to 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 3 doesn't go into 20, 4 times 5. Those are your factor pairs of positive 20, and we're looking to see which one adds to the B of 9, a positive 9. Signs are super important for this lesson. Which one of those pairs adds to a 9? They all multiply to 20, but which one adds to a 9? There's only one answer, and hopefully you guessed the 4 and the 5. And what this means is your factors for x squared plus 9x plus 20 is x plus 4 times x plus 5. Now, if you wanted to check it, check. If you were to multiply x plus 4 times x plus 5, I would do x times x times 5. X squared plus 5x. Distribute the 4, 4x, 4 times 5 is 20. And we get x squared plus 9x plus 20. So the two numbers that you found multiply to that C value of 20, and the two numbers that we found add up to that middle term of 9. So this was our check, just to show that what we're doing is okay. But these are your factors. So this is your answer. We're kind of working backwards, but you can always use multiplying to check your answer. Let's try number 2. X squared plus 3x plus 2. My C value is a 2, and I'm looking for the factor pair of 2 that adds to my B, which is a positive 3. Well, luckily, 2 only has 2 factors, 1 times 2, and that happens to add to a 3. So there's your answer. Your answer is x plus 1 times x plus 2. We need that x and the x there because we have to do x times x to get the x squared. So those are your factors. And you can distribute it or use the box method to check your answer. So we have 3 more to practice. I'm going to go through them all, so feel free to pause it and maybe test yourself, or you can just follow along with me. X squared plus x minus 6. My A is a 1, my B is a positive 1, my C value is negative 6. So I'm looking for my factor pairs of negative 6 that adds to the B value of positive 1. 1 times 6, 2 times 3 are your only options. Since we're trying to get a negative, you can make negatives, and then you can repeat your factor pairs again and make the other side negative. Depending on your level of confidence with number sense, you might have to do that or you might not. But you ultimately do have to find which one adds up to a positive 1. All of these pairs multiply to negative 6. Which one adds to a positive 1? And that's negative 2 and a positive 3. So your answer for this one is x minus 2 and x plus 3. Now, because order doesn't matter when you multiply, if you wrote your answer x plus 3 times x minus 2, that is the same. So the order doesn't matter, whichever spot you have the factor pair in. Factors. Two more. We're looking for the factor pair of negative 24 that adds to your b value of a positive 5. 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. Since we're looking for a negative, you could repeat them again. So you want one of them to be negative. Also, depending on your level, you might know that if you're looking for a negative, but the sum is a positive, that means your larger number is a positive. So these on the right side are your larger numbers, but it doesn't matter, whichever method you need to find your pair. Hopefully you found that it's negative 3 and 8. That means your factors are x minus 3 times x plus 8. And go ahead, you can distribute that out if you wanted to double check your answer. Last one, x squared minus 36. It has two terms, so always double check if you can do it by GCF, which you cannot, because they don't have anything in common. I actually have a c value. The constant is negative 36. Let's block that last problem out of here. My c value is negative 36. What's my b value? Because I have x squared, a b's missing, and a constant. The b value is actually a 0. So we're looking for the factor pair of negative 36 that adds to 0. Like the problem on the front, if your sum is a 0, that means you're looking for opposites. What opposites multiply to a negative 36? That would be a 6 and a negative 6. So x plus 6 times x minus 6 are your two factors. So hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. Have a great day.